I'm Abiola Jackson. This is the Entertainment News and Celebrity Gossip TV for Wednesday, June the 18th. In entertainment news, well, we have here Porsha is jealous of Shamea. This is according to Kenya Moore. She's chiming on this whole thing. Um, and I kind of agree with her on this. I kind of agree with her on that. I'm not surprised. I would even take it a step further. Um, I believe I'm going to say this. Some may not agree, but Porsha might be threatened. There might be a slight threat of Porsha being threatened by Shamea. That could be a mixture of that and the jealousy at the same time. That's just my take on that. I have more to say about that as well. Well, listen to Kenya Moore's take as she goes in and gives her thoughts on the Porsha William Shamea relationship. Let's listen to this right now.
Closer look at what's happening now on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So one of the biggest storylines right now is Porsha and Shamea. They have been friends forever. Obviously, I've known of Shamea since Shamea was first on the show. I remember kicking Shamea, off of my boat when I was, on the show because she was sticking so closely with Porsha, and Porsha and I were falling out. But Shamea and I have gone back and forth plenty of times, at least several times that I know of, because of her rocky relationship with Porsha. Now, a lot of you guys may not know, I've actually had a conversation with Shamea a long time ago. And that was when Porsha and I were not on the best terms, and we're cool now. But this was when Porsha and I were not cool. Everything that I know about their friendship, I'll just tell you. I never felt that Porsha was supportive of her being on Housewives. They had asked Shamea to be on Housewives as a housewife years ago. And Shamea refused to do it or could not do it. I'm not really clear about the details, but in any event, she couldn't do it. She didn't do it. She did not accept the offer to be a housewife or to interview to be a housewife. And I remember a specific conversation being filmed where Shamea brought up something. Maybe it was her wedding. Maybe it was Porsha not being supportive of her. But I remember Porsha saying something to the effect of, why are you doing this? Why are you over here? Why are you doing this? Do you need the money?
See? And that's what I mean. That's what I mean to say. She says, why are you doing this? Why are you here? See, to me, and she's going to elaborate on this, Kenya Moore, a bit later. She's going to say the same thing I'm saying. That she should be happy that she's here. She should be supportive that she's here. If you're her friend, you should be supportive and happy that she's here. And keep it at that. I mean, to me, when she made a statement like that, according to Kenya Moore, that's what I meant when I said it sounds like Porsha's threatened by Shamea being there. That's what I meant earlier, before we started the video on this. Porsha's threatened by Shamea, and the jealousy at the same time. That's why I said both of those two coincide with that statement. But like I said, that's not a real friend. A real friend does not do that, in my opinion. They don't do that. That's a so-called friend. You call that a so-called friend, not a real friend. A so-called jealous and a so-called jealous and a threat to Porsha, as how I see it. So that's what I meant by all of that. But let's continue. Let's hear what Kenya Moore has to say. Let's continue here.
Money that bad. And I think Shamea was like shocked, like, what, where is she going with this? And the gist of the conversation was, can't you just let me have this and you go over and do what you need to do? But this is my platform. You need to go and either be my support system or go away. That was the gist of the conversation.
See? Be my support system. So basically, Portia's like just using her, just use her for convenience, using her for convenience, just for convenience. Has her as a friend for convenience, but it's not a real friend. Not a real friend at all. Just for convenience and just someone to talk to here and there, but not a real friend. Like I said, fake friend. So for her to say, "You go over there, let me do my thing. This is my platform." that's that's somebody not you're not being welcoming to your friend. You said that's your friend. You're not being welcoming at all. It's like she's like I mentioned before. Like you look at this, you look at she as a threat. Like I mentioned before. Let's continue.
Now, I've been on that show, was on that show, still am, still employed, not on the show currently, but for 12 years. I've seen and heard a lot. I've never lied on anybody. Never. Y'all know that. I just remember thinking, is that a friendship or a relationship of convenience? Because a friendship, you cheer your friends on no matter what. And I just remember this saying that Oprah said before, like if you have a friend that even shows you a hint of them not wanting you to succeed or climb the rung in a ladder, they are not your friend.
Mic drop. Mic drop. That's a bar and a mic drop. You hear that? That's right. That's a mic drop. If they show any hints or signs of them not being for what you stand for and what you believe and what you're about, they are not your friend. That's what she's saying in so many words. I just paraphrased it. I did my paraphrasing, and that's what she meant. That's what she's saying. That's what basically she's saying. I agree with that. I agree with that. She's spot on. Let's continue.
I strongly believe that. If I don't have a girlfriend that's on the sidelines and me like, go girl, you better do that. What can I do for you? I'm going to call the producers. I'm going to call the network. I'm going to do everything I can. I need you by my side. I've done that before for a friend of mine, to the point where I'm putting my own job in jeopardy because I'm like, y'all should look at this girl. She is dynamic. She is beautiful. She is a housewife. She is the one you're looking for, and you're overlooking her. And going so far out of my way, people were like, what is going on? What is the situation with you and this friend? Because she was somebody I truly cared about. She's my friend, and I believe she would be good in that role. However, that's not what I see with Shamea and Porsha. What I see is jealousy. What I see is somebody putting their foot on somebody's neck and saying, you stay down there. I want to be the queen of this. You go find your own thing, which is basically what she said. I mean, I think we already know what that is. It's not a friend. Anyways, no friend I would want to have. So can two besties survive the same?
Exactly. I agree. I agree. That is not a friend. It's a fake friend. It's all fake. A fake friend, not a real friend. No, real genuine support whatsoever. That's all it is. She's right about that. Let's continue.
Same bag, same spotlight, and the same screen time? Or is it a matter of just time for it to blow up? Y'all let me know what you think in the comments below. And remember, I am always going to tell you the true tea. I'm not going to lie on anybody. I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just telling the honest truth.
And that's it. That's Kenya Moore's thoughts on that. I gave my thoughts on that already. And I agree with Kenya Moore. I agree with her on that. Definitely jealousy definitely jealousy between Porsha being jealous on Shamea. Definitely there's jealousy, and there's no real friendship here. Porsha is not a real friend of Shamea. There's no real friendship. She looks at Shamea like it says a threat, and is jealous of Shamea. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. Great talking points by Kenya Moore. Great interview by Kenya Moore on the Porsha Shamea situation. Very good job. Excellent points. Nothing else to add. Hit the like and subscribe button. More entertainment news, celebrity gossip TV. That's all I got to say. Until next time, peace and out.